A female monkey was entering the final moments of labor. Each powerful contraction forced her body to hunch forward, showing just how difficult the birth had become. Instead of finding a secluded spot deep in the forest, she stopped in the middle of a paved road that ran through the wildlife reserve. The contractions had likely come on too suddenly, leaving her with no strength to reach a safer place. Surrounded by the quiet of the reserve, the exhausted mother struggled through the pain, doing everything she could to bring her baby safely into the world. Moments after giving birth, the mother monkey pushed through her exhaustion and immediately began licking her newborn clean. This instinctive behavior helps dry the infant's fur, reducing heat loss and lowering the risk of infection during its first vulnerable moments. She also consumed the placenta, a common behavior among many mammals that provides valuable nutrients and energy to help her recover after the demanding process of childbirth. After enduring the exhausting process of childbirth, the mother monkey could barely keep her eyes open. Cradling her newborn tightly against her chest, she settled onto a rocky ledge and drifted into a light sleep. Every movement reflected her exhaustion, yet even in her fatigued state, she never loosened her protective embrace. For the tiny infant, her mother's warmth and closeness were the safest place to rest during the first hours of life. As the mother monkey rested with her first newborn, another wave of contractions quickly began. It became clear that she wasn't finished giving birth. She was carrying twins. Sensing that the second infant was ready to arrive, she made an important decision. Carefully placing her first newborn into the father's arms, she entrusted him with keeping the tiny infant warm and protected. With the first baby safely in his care, the exhausted mother moved a short distance away and focused all of her remaining strength on delivering her second newborn. With both babies safely born, the parents shared the responsibility of raising their newborn twins. The mother stayed close, nursing, grooming, and keeping the infants warm, while the father remained nearby, gently holding and protecting them whenever she needed to rest or move. Throughout the first hours after birth, the pair worked together, each showing constant care and attention to their tiny offspring. Their quiet teamwork gave the vulnerable newborns the warmth, security, and protection they needed during the most fragile stage of their lives. It almost seemed as if fate had already chosen a different path for the younger twin. Unlike its sibling, the little monkey constantly wandered away from the troop. Everything beyond its mother's reach seemed to spark its curiosity. Every unfamiliar sound, moving leaf, or distant object tempted the adventurous youngster to explore just a little farther. Time and again, its endless curiosity led it away from the safety of the family, setting it apart from the very beginning. Then, the moment everyone feared finally arrived. During one of its curious adventures, the young monkey lost its grip and fell from a tall tree to the ground below. The impact left the tiny infant lying motionless, barely conscious. Its breathing was faint, and every second suddenly became critical as its family rushed toward the helpless youngster. Recognizing the severity of the situation, the veterinary team rushed in to save the tiny monkey. But the frightened mother refused to let go. She wrapped her injured baby tightly against her chest, as if afraid that the moment she released it, she would lose her child forever. Every attempt to help was met with her desperate determination to keep the infant close. Only after great care and patience were the veterinarians finally able to gently separate the barely conscious newborn from its mother's protective embrace and begin the emergency treatment. After 25 days of intensive care, the tiny monkey finally pulled through. Against the odds, its life had been saved. However, the injuries from the fall were devastating. By the time rescuers were able to begin treatment, Precious time had already been lost, and the severe trauma, combined with prolonged compression while the frightened mother clung tightly to her baby, had caused irreversible damage to the limbs. To save the youngster's life, veterinarians had no choice but to amputate all 4 limbs. Only a small portion of the upper arm could be preserved, and even the remaining hand was left only partially intact. Though forever changed, the little monkey had survived, giving it a second chance at life. A compassionate volunteer welcomed the little monkey into a new home, determined to give it the care it deserved. Every day, it was gently fed milk through a syringe, one slow sip at a time. Without most of its limbs, even the simplest daily activities became enormous challenges. Yet the little monkey never stopped trying. There were also quiet moments when it seemed to long for something no one could replace. It would hold a small teddy bear close against its body, as if searching for the warmth and comfort it once knew in its mother's embrace. Though surrounded by kindness, the memory of that bond seemed to linger, making each cuddle with the stuffed toy feel like a silent reminder of the mother it had lost. By day 37, the little monkey's determination had become impossible to ignore. Despite losing all 4 limbs, it refused to give up. Using the small portions of its remaining arms, its body, and its tail, it slowly learned to roll, wiggle, and push itself across the floor. Every movement demanded extraordinary effort, but each tiny success marked another step toward independence. Watching the little survivor adapt to a life that once seemed impossible became a powerful reminder that resilience can endure even after unimaginable hardship. Even in its sleep, it sometimes looked as though it was dreaming of standing on its own again. Every day, the little monkey pushed itself to practice, repeating the same difficult movements over and over, refusing to stop trying. But not every day brought progress. There were moments when exhaustion seemed to overwhelm the tiny survivor. It would lower its head to the ground and remain completely still, its eyes filled with quiet sadness, as if wondering whether it would ever be able to move as freely as other monkeys. Yet, each new day, despite those moments of frustration, it found the strength to try once more. With each passing day, all of that determination slowly began to pay off. The little monkey made small but meaningful progress through constant practice. What once seemed impossible gradually became reality. After countless attempts, it finally learned how to roll its body from one side to the other, giving itself a new way to move without relying on anyone else. It was only a small step, but for the tiny survivor, it marked the beginning of a new chapter, proof that perseverance could achieve what once seemed beyond reach. Even with only one partially intact arm, the little monkey refused to give up. Day after day, it practiced the same movements with incredible determination. It stumbled and fell countless times, each attempt ending with another setback. But every fall was followed by another attempt. Slowly and patiently, it pushed itself forward, one small step at a time, learning to balance its body in new ways. Progress came slowly, but its unwavering determination proved stronger than the obstacles standing in its path. By day 50, every hour of hard work had finally paid off. After weeks of determination, the little monkey achieved what once seemed impossible. It was able to stand upright, using its one remaining arm. It was a milestone that marked far more than physical recovery. From that moment on, it continued refining its balance and coordination until moving with a single arm became second nature. What had once been a helpless infant fighting for survival had grown into a resilient young monkey, proving that courage, patience, and perseverance can overcome even the most overwhelming challenges. The transformation was nothing short of remarkable. The once fragile newborn who had fought for every breath now stood confidently on its own. With impressive balance, it had learned to rely on its single remaining arm to support its body, allowing it to explore its surroundings with growing confidence. The playful youngster could now move around the house with surprising agility, no longer defined by what it had lost, but by everything it had overcome. Looking at the little monkey today, it's hard to imagine the heartbreaking journey that brought it here. Its story is a powerful reminder that while life can change in an instant, courage, determination, and compassion can create miracles. Sometimes true strength isn't measured by how much we have, it's revealed by how much we can achieve with what remains. While the young monkey was fighting for a second chance at life, its mother seemed to lose the will to carry on. From the day her injured baby was taken away for treatment, she was often seen sitting alone on the rocky outcrops where the family once rested together. Instead of climbing and foraging with the troop, she would remain motionless for long periods, quietly staring into the distance. There was a deep sadness in her eyes, as though she were still searching for the little one she had been forced to let go. Even as time passed, she never seemed to forget the child that had once clung so tightly to her chest. But even the deepest grief begins to soften with time. Although the memory of her lost baby never truly faded, the mother gradually turned her attention back to the family that still needed her. Her surviving youngster depended on her for protection, guidance, and care. Day by day, she poured her energy into raising the healthy twin, teaching it how to climb, forage, and survive in the wild. Life could never return to what it once was, but she found the strength to move forward, not by forgetting the child she had lost, but by giving everything she had to the one still by her side. Even after long, exhausting days, her devotion never faded. When fatigue finally overcame her, she would drift off to sleep with her surviving baby still held tightly against her chest. Instinct never allowed her to let go. Through every moment of rest, she kept the little one close, offering warmth, comfort, and protection. It was a quiet reminder that, despite everything she had endured, her love as a mother remained as strong as ever. The surviving little monkey was surrounded by even more love than before. Both of its parents devoted themselves to its care, as if determined to protect the precious life they still had together. The father stayed close, keeping watch over the youngster and stepping in whenever needed, while the mother continued to provide warmth, comfort, and constant care. Together, they gave their baby twice the affection, attention, and protection, cherishing every moment they still had as a family. And so, day by day, the little monkey continued to grow. With every passing week, it became stronger, more confident, and more curious about the world around it. Under the constant care of its parents, each new day brought another lesson, another adventure, and another small milestone. Life slowly returned to the family, carrying them forward one day at a time, while the memories of the past remained a quiet part of their journey. Although this family's story has been filled with pain and separation, hope still remains. Somewhere in the wild, a mother continues raising the baby that never left her side, while never truly forgetting the little one she lost. And far away, another young monkey is beginning a new life, surrounded by people determined to give it every chance to survive. No one can know what the future holds. Perhaps the paths of this family will never cross again. Or perhaps one day, when the little monkey has grown strong enough to return to the forest, fate will offer them a second chance. Maybe its mother will recognize the eyes she once looked into every day. Maybe its father will remember the tiny infant he carried so carefully in his arms. And maybe the surviving sibling will finally be reunited with the brother it never had the chance to grow up beside. Until that day comes, all we can do is hope. Hope that the little monkey continues to grow stronger with each passing day. Hope that its parents find peace after everything they have endured. And above all, hope that one day this family, torn apart by tragedy but bound together by love, will have the chance to be whole again. Because even after the darkest moments, nature has a remarkable way of offering new beginnings. And sometimes, the happiest endings are simply the ones we never stop believing in. Every life leaves a mark on the hearts of those who love it. For this family, that mark came in the form of both unimaginable loss and extraordinary resilience. One little monkey lost the chance to grow up in the arms of its parents, while a mother and father were forced to watch their family torn apart in a single tragic moment. Yet despite the pain, life did not stop. The young monkey fought through every challenge with incredible determination, while its parents found the strength to keep moving forward and protect the child that remained by their side. Their journeys may have taken different paths, but they are forever connected by the bond they shared from the very first moment of life. As the little monkey grows stronger with each passing day, we can only hope that one day it will be healthy enough to return to the place where it truly belongs. And perhaps, somewhere in the forests it once called home, its family will still be waiting. Whether that reunion ever comes or not, this story reminds us of something deeply important. Love is not measured by how long we stay together, but by how fiercely we care for one another, even when life pulls us apart. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with someone who loves wildlife. Your support helps us continue telling the remarkable stories of animals from around the world.